Welcome back to Gardening for Babies. So today in this episode we're going to talk about 4 basic things. The first thing we're going to talk about is prepping the ground, so tilling and choosing a plot, things like that. The second one is just a little bit about compost, which makes Mae very excited. It makes me really excited. The third thing that we'll talk about is some early things that you can plant, and the fourth thing is weed management, which is an ongoing discussion. Time to garden. Plant the baby! Plant the baby! After you get your seed started, you want to prep your ground. What I did was pull the fencing and posts and things from the garden and all the refuse and stuff out of there. And then I made conditions right for a very special being, not unlike the great pumpkin, who's called the garden fairy. Here are a few quick fleeting glimpses of the garden fairy. Garden fairies are essentially people in your neighborhood who sometimes are related to you who have rototillers. If you yourself have a rototiller, you might be called upon to do this service for your neighbors. Garden fairies can usually be paid off by holding babies or with cookies. I can also be bought off with cookies. Ah, beautiful. Gardening is so easy, you can do it in your sleep. You till your garden for several reasons. Not everybody does this, but I still till my garden, primarily because it aerates the soil, so we get a little air in there. It gets rid of some weeds and it mixes in organic matter, which is dead or dying plants, compost, and for me, goat fertilizer. Goats are ruminants, which means that they have more than one stomach, and they eat only plants, no meat. So that kind of manure is really good for getting more organic matter and nutrients into your soil. So the reason my soil looks so dark and rich is because I've been putting organic matter into it for years. If your soil doesn't look like that, you might want to think about adding some compost. Or getting some goats, which is a plus. And I know some people if you want goats. A few words about compost. Yes, good, we love it, do it. Compost essentially is a pile of dying organic plant matter. So you don't want animal matter, you want plant matter, and it's basically being broken down. The straw is covering our compost pile. The straw was on the strawberries, hence their name, trivia, all winter, and now it's basically covering up stuff that will, once it's more broken down, go in to make the soil richer with more nutrients. That's basically what compost is. Right, Mae? Oh my gosh, she's asleep. Did you just fall asleep while we were talking about composting? You don't find compost riveting? When it's like 70 degrees, there's no better thing to do than put on your cutoffs and your tank top, strap your baby to you, and do some nice planting. There are just a few things you can plant this early. Most things have to wait until after the frost-free date. However, peas, potatoes, radishes, and lettuce can all go in the ground right now. You want to plant some potatoes? We bought seeds for peas, radishes, and lettuce. But for potatoes, we're using what are called seed potatoes. You can buy those, but you can also use what you bought at the store. So here are some white potatoes we bought and are now sprouted. And here are some red potatoes from last year that we grew that have also sprouted. All those things can be planted and you can get a hill of potatoes from them.